welcome in. It's a Saturday afternoon of NCAA D3 Hoops, a crucial CCIW matchup between Millikin and Carthage from Tarble Arena in Kenosha. Hello everybody, alongside my broadcast colleague this afternoon for the doubleheader as the men's game will be immediately following this women's matchup. Eric Elger, I'm Peter Ferreri. Eric, Carthage coming off a huge conference win just a few days ago on Wednesday evening. Millikin, a very tough loss on the road. They're going to be looking to right the ship. Let's look first at this Millikin squad. They're going to be led by none other, one of the best players you may see all year in the CCIW, and that's going to be Elise Knutson.
Yeah, Elise Knutson really leads the team with just an offensive onslaught, and they roll through her. It's a high-paced offense. They like to get out on the break in transition, and they can score in bunches. And Carthage is going to need that output they got on Wednesday really to match what they have. Yeah, at 84 points a game, it's
a lot of points.
Yeah, and like we on that offensive output with led by Morrissey and Knight on Wednesday, when they combined for 59 points, they're going to need every one of those to keep pace with this high-powered Millikin offense.
Yeah, on the flip side of things, however, the 1-2 punch of Carthage, of course, Mariana Morrissey, but reigniting her offensive firepower was Lauren Knight just the other night, missed her first shot and then made 10 in a row.
Yeah, it was impressive. It was one of those moments where you're like, it seemed like there was a heat check shot after heat check shot, and they just kept going in. And it was awesome to see both Knight and Morrissey shot over 70% from the field. And it was almost like whatever you can do, I can do better between the two of them. And what a dynamic duo. And Carthage is going to really rely on them to go through the offense and make sure that they can keep up with this Millikin team, who has also got a couple scores on their own side.
Yeah, another thing to mention when we talk about maybe some differences of the past few games coming out of the holiday break for Carthage, of course, they have a new player on the squad. That is number 5, Nora Aram. Nora, a transfer from UIC, the Missouri Valley Conference, already getting her feet wet, having played, by all accounts here, 12 and a half minutes, so she already is getting significant minutes. They want to get her in, they want to get her ready, and just a nice add-on piece for this squad.
Yeah, we just talked with Coach Jurakovic about that transfer in the middle of the year and how that can be difficult picking up all the different sets. But what you've already seen with Aram is that she seems very comfortable with the ball in her hands, and someone that Coach Jones can look to come off that bench and know that the ball's in good hands and take care of it and keep the offense ticking. And it's just been impressive to see her just kind of dive right in.
Yeah, if you look at back to Millikin, they're back and forth winning and losing, meaning they defeated Alma, they lost to Hope. They defeated Central Iowa, they lost to North Central. It's been a back and forth. If you look at the offensive firepower and then defensively as well now for Millikin, anything that stands out to you, what they have to do on the defensive side to try to get back in their winning ways right now? As we look at the overall standings, Millikin and Carthage right snap dab in the middle. 10-4 for Carthage, 10-3 for Millikin, 3-2 for Carthage, 2-2. It's the battle of that middle of the pack right now, seeing who can separate themselves.
Yeah, when you get to the end of the middle of the year here, you really want to be on that top half so you can qualify for the conference tournament. So this is an important game to vault up in that top part of the conference standing. And really with Millikin's defense, they like to play half court, man-to-man, and they will force you sideline, baseline, and Coach Jones said you got to watch out for them jumping into passing lanes and trying to take a charge. So with Millikin, you look at their point per game differential, they score 84 and only giving up 63 a game. So that is a almost 20-point differential. So they do have a good defense, but whether Carthage can unlock that tonight, we'll have to see.
Again, first game of a doubleheader, Millikin versus Carthage. We're excited to bring you the action. Teams are going to do their starting lineups and national anthem momentarily. We will take a timeout. When we come back, tip-off action, the battle in Kenosha, coming your way shortly on the Firebird Broadcasting Network.
Carthage Twins fireworks live off first. At this time, please direct your attention towards the American flag at the north end of the arena. It draped the coffin of Captain Frank Batter, a former Carthage student who died in Vietnam in 1970. The flag is a gift to the college from his parents. In remembering Captain Batter, we pay tribute to all who have sacrificed their lives for our country, and honor those who today put themselves in harm's way in service to America. At this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem by the Carthage Pep Band. Your Carthage College fireworks! First, let's meet the visiting Big Blue. A 5'6" junior from Tarble, Iowa, number 7, Montana Kenosha. A 5'8" senior from Tarble, Illinois, number 22, Elise Kenosha. A 5'9" senior from Kenosha, Illinois, number 24, Sophie Jordan. A 5'11" junior from Springfield, Illinois, number 30, Emily Ferreri. A 6th graduate student from Hayward, Illinois, number 32, Megan Cox. The head coach of the Big Blue is Olivia Lack. Coach Les assisted by Caleb Johnson, Ricky Getz, and Morning News. All right, firework fans, get on your feet. Showtime!
And welcome into the broadcast booth. Starting lineups brought to you by the Firebird Broadcasting. Eric, talk us through what you see so far. Of course, the standout for Carthage, I have to mention Addie Ebeling getting the start yet again at the power forward/guard position.
Yeah, Carthage turning again to the senior leadership of Addison Ebeling, and she's played some tough big minutes for the Firebird so far. And with Millikin, you know what you're going to get out of Knutson. You really think she's going to get hers, but can you limit the rest of her teammates and keep them down and hopefully not let them get that scoring in bunches like we've seen them in this season?
Tip-off underway, already to Ebeling. She goes up, swatted away, no foul going to be called. Nice swipe by Millikin. They're wearing the visiting blues with gray numbers and letters, white trim. Carthage wearing the home whites today with the red numbers and letters, black trim. Morrissey up, under, good. 9 seconds into the contest. First bucket for the Firebirds.
Right where she left off on Wednesday, taking it to the hoop. Good sign early to see her get there, that easy bucket right off the bat.
Morrissey tied her career high just 72 hours ago. She's averaging 17.1 points a game.
Look at Thistle getting in there, a little block there out of the guard action.
Morrissey kicks it back out. Ebeling, 3, good if it goes. No good off the back iron. Morrissey, offensive board, out to Thistle, pump fakes it, drives in, passes out, swatted away. Good awareness on the court by number 7, Mattia Tellis, out of Coralville, Iowa.
Yeah, Thistle getting in there on the defensive end and almost looked like she was going to take that shot, but decided to kick it out, and that was a really athletic play by Millikin to knock that out of bounds, and that ball just ripped out of Morrissey's hands there.
Tough man defense so far for Millikin, as we've seen in the opening 60 seconds of action. Welcome to Kenosha, Wisconsin, off the beautiful lakefront of Lake Michigan. We're glad you're with us on this Saturday afternoon, a crucial CCIW matchup. Getting the rebound, kicking back out for 3, and finding each and every one of them, Emily Brenneisen.
That's something Coach Jones talked about, was the physical nature of Sophie Darden down low, and she got that offensive rebound, kicked it out, and that is Millikin's first bucket of the game.
15 seconds on the clock. Spear getting the start, goes to Morrissey, pops up for the long range 2, finds the bucket. Absolutely on fire in this past month and a half, creating her career high mark against Elmhurst, tying it just a few nights ago, and already 4 points. Misguided pass, that one poked away by Sophie Darden out of Minooka High School in Shanahan. Spear takes that one away as well.
Yeah, Morrissey is dangerous. If she can knock down that mid-range shot, you got to close out on her hard, and we all know she's one of the quickest guards in the conference. And so if she's making that mid-range, that makes them come out, and then she just can take it to the rack when they're trying to keep that, get a hand in her face.
Brenneisen checks out of the contest. Good defense up front by Tellis. Hitting the ground is Ebeling. High layup, no good. Ebeling couldn't get back into the position. Looks like she just got a quick nudge on the screen. Passing far ahead. Up, good. Left hand, Darden.
That's something to look for tonight with Millikin, and they get out in transition, and that was a quick basket with Darden heading down to the block.
Pass off to the right wing, resetting up the offense, trying to drive in, had it poked away, and foul going to be called, I believe, on Darden, who's getting up slowly, and a double sub again, so 3 out of the starting 5 already subbed out for Millikin. They're quick on the rotation so far this afternoon.
Yeah, I think that has to do with how they like to play on offense, is that they like to run, and so when you're running a lot, you want to keep the legs fresh and keep the pressure on both ends of the floor, and so if you're running on offense, you also want that energy on defense, and so keeping the team fresh is crucial to play that high up-tempo type of style.
Morrissey, the trifecta! Firebirds back up by 2.
No drop-off, what we can see so far, and now she's already got like the 3. She's got 1 at the rim, 1 mid-range, and a 3 now. She's got the triple play going already tonight.
Ebeling, pump fakes, goes back out, wanting it. Knight, picking up where she left off. And this full court pressure causing fits so far for Millikin. 10-5 your score.
What a find by Ebeling to see Knight in the corner. And more pressure. Knutson trying to take it to the hole a couple times now, and she's had it swiped away by the Firebird defense, and she's looking to get to the basket. And so already you can see active hands by the Carthage defense. Swatting the ball away twice now from one of the best players this conference has to offer.
Thistle now looking for some motion, poked away at the last moment. Sophie Darden, the 5'9" senior, they got her pretty much matched up right now with Morrissey, one of the best defenders in the CCIW, as we have double sub now. So Ebeling's going to check out.
As well as Thistle.
And Thistle, as you stated, so it looks like checking in. Let's see what the pass could be.
Wamser, and believe that is Knable.
Yep, Knable is checked in as well. So different rotation based on the matchup. Morrissey needs a pass, finds Knable, short range, poked away. Not sure if she got hit on the arm or not. Pass to the near side, misguided, and the pass just too far ahead. Not able to get there is Emily White out of Sullivan, Illinois.
Well, that's part of the downside, I think, when you want to play quick if you're Millikin, is sometimes that looked like she went a little too quick, didn't catch the ball, and without the ball, it's can't really do much. So that she was able to knock it out of bounds.
Looking for three, Wamser, not able to find it. Still on the ground, Knight, just miscommunication there. Two Millikin players out of the blue going for it at the same time. 5-point lead still for the Firebirds, 4.5 into the opening quarter. Knight goes near side, open for three, can't find it. Poked from behind, good offensive board by Lauren Knight. The up and under, no good. And finally able to come away with a rebound. A quiet day so far by Elise Knutson out of Philo, Illinois. It is only a matter of time before I'm sure she starts heating up.
Yeah, when you're averaging 27 a game, the odds are you're not going to keep her scoreless for very long.
To note, though, Knutson does have the wrap on the left shoulder, so not quite sure what that is, but nice job getting into the lane and getting the soft touch is Sophie Darden.
Yeah, tough bucket down there, and that Darden's going to be a lot to handle down low with just how strong she is.
Morrissey, clean touch, Knutson, or excuse me, Knable, can't find it again. Knutson and Knable matching up. Spear now. After the full court pressure, usually a man-to-man defense for the Firebirds. Looking for a pass in, a bit too far on the ground. That's going to be a touch, that's going to be out of bounds. Double subbing coming in, and that should be a timeout on the court. Let's see if they keep it, and they do. 10-7 your score. What a fast 5.5 minutes in this opening quarter. 3-point lead for Carthage. Talk me through it, Eric. What have you seen so far that you've liked from this Firebird squad?
I think the defensive energy has really already played an impact against Millikin. You see the active hands, they're knocking the ball away, they're forcing turnovers, and when an offense as good as Millikin is you can get them to give it back to you, that's the easiest way to stop a good team. And it's just been impressive to see how Knutson has really not got a lot going so far in the first 5 minutes, and keeping her quiet will be a huge recipe for being successful today.
Yeah, looking right now at Millikin, 0 for 1 is Knutson. She does have an assist and a rebound, but right now hasn't had to play or hasn't had the opportunity to really display her offensive strengths. She's more so done so on the boards with 3 rebounds so far by Darden. You already called it in the first few minutes of the game. She's really going to be a difference maker for Millikin. You can't guard everybody at once. Might have to be a Darden game if Millikin wants to come out victorious.
Well, especially with the way they play. They kind of play all out, 4 out, and kind of put Darden down low. And so sometimes she's just scrapping, getting those offensive rebounds, and lets those 3-point shooters, if they miss, when they really are a good shooting team, but if they do miss, she picks it up and is able to put back easy too. So that's something that Carthage is going to have to do to keep her off the glass and see what they can do, and keep, also Knutson, keep her off the score sheet as well, as Aram now steps in for the Firebirds.
Aram transfer from UIC, and the Flames. Morrissey continues to show how she is already one of the best players in the CCIW this season. having a career type year. And that goes back to the conversation we've had with Coach Jones, where she said, when she took over the program, she had players that thought they peaked, thought they had reached their pinnacle. She said, and I had to help them crash through that glass ceiling and continue to push. And she said, Morrissey's one of them, Malia Green's one of them, Knable's one of them. All these players that thought, okay, well, this is as good as I'm going to get, and I have to do a little bit more as possession's going to go back to the Firebirds.
Yeah, Carthage just forced their 6th turnover, but as you were saying, as a ball is almost knocked over almost an over and back turnover there. And
looks like it hit off the leg of Knight. Yeah, just mishandled the dribble, hit off the right shin. Possession back to Millikin.
So a little back and forth here. But as you're saying with Coach Jones and seeing the improvement on the play, it's something, especially with Morrissey. I've seen her from her freshman year till now, and you have really seen. It's amazing that she thought she's peaked because just the finishing at the rim has gotten so much better. Her shooting has gotten so much better. She's taking more threes, and so she's a shining example of how Coach Jones, hey, there's more to unlock here.
Here comes the shift. Darden's open for the 2. She takes that short range from the baseline, no good. Who else? Morrissey with the rebound, pushing the pace, slows it down, loses the handle. Back to Knight setting up. Knight was left open for 3, couldn't take advantage. Knable has it swiped away, and they're going to say that stays. Possession with the Firebirds as a full, almost line change, hockey style. 4 players coming in for the Big Blue.
Yeah, a lot of substitutions rotating through here. I wonder if Millikin sees that as something they can take advantage, is having maybe a deeper bench, more rotations, see if they can wear Carthage down a little in the game as we go on.
Coach Olivia Lett trying to keep legs as fresh as possible. Again, even though most of the actual players are the same from last year, completely different mindset, different coaching, different offensive outlook. Knable, no foul called on another offensive board. Morrissey drives baseline, passes to Knable, wide open on the mishandle, and good!
I think if you asked Morrissey, she would have said she was passing to
Margaret
Spear there, but I think that got a little fortunate bounce to go by Knable and end up with Spear alone in the corner, and she knocks it down.
Morrissey almost comes away with another steal, 15 seconds on the shot clock. Almost poked away. It is poked away, and who else? Knable on the spot. So there again is that situation. Usually the first person off the bench, layup good, Spear, timeout called, Millikin 17-7. It's a 7-0 run for the Firebirds. Carthage is absolutely feeling it here in the first quarter.
Yeah, and it's really all led by their defense now. If we're looking at the turnovers, Millikin already at 7 turnovers, and that matches up many points. So 7 turnovers and 7 points. If you're Coach Jones, you're excited with the defensive effort, and something I've been impressed with so far is Knable able to keep a lot of buckets, a lot of possessions going, and you can see Knight knocking down.
Right, here's that play. As you said, 100% it was a pass to Spear.
Yes, exactly. Right as you draw it up, kind of like when you bank one in on accident, right as I meant it. But right before that, Spear 3, Knable's the one. She didn't necessarily get the rebound, but had her hand in there and kind of knocked it loose, and Carthage was able to regain possession. And that turned out into a 3-point possession, which all predicated on that Knable's effort down low.
Grace Cord's checked into the game, and that's something that bears mentioning as well. Usually it's Ebeling or Cord that gets to start at that forward/center position, as Cord heard us talking about her and gets the rebound. But Ebeling got the first, crack at it off the bench today. Now Cord, your potential or rotational starter, is now the 3rd big off the bench. It just shows what Coach Jones is trying to do here. Truly a matchup-based team.
Yeah, as you said in Cord, that's the exact rebound you're looking to get out of her. Tough box out, had to fight off the Millikin offensive player and was able to pull it down. But again, kind of a weird, Wamser just kind of looked like she lost her footing, kicked it out of bounds. A lot of turnovers here early. It's been pretty hectic so far.
Foul going to be called as Bella Dudley was heading to the line out of Tri-County High.
Yeah, Carthage now has 5 turnovers, so we got 12 turnovers here in the first quarter. You expect the teams to kind of settle in as the game progresses.
Grace Cord called for her first infraction as Cord checks out, and Ebeling comes right back in as Coach Jones is already having a conversation with Coach Cord about it, giving her a pat on the back. Again, basketball, like so many sports, Eric, it's so matchup based. But when you have a brand new coach and Coach Jones coming in and saying, okay, well, based on who I have in my personnel, some may say it's a detriment. She turned it into a strength, saying that, okay, I'm only getting a few incoming freshmen, Grace Cord being one of them. I'm getting a transfer mid-season in Nora Aram, and nonetheless, we're coming out having already a better season than we did a year ago with mostly the same team. Just shows that she was able, you hear so often what makes a good coach, being able to scheme to the strengths of your players rather than players having to adjust to a scheme.
And the tough part of that, too, is kind of letting your players know as another turnover traveling there, the 8th turnover for Millikin. But as a coach, kind of letting your players know, like, hey, we might go to you more this game than the other game, but you still need to be ready. When your number's called, get out there and do your job. And it seems so far that Coach Jones has really been able to encourage the whole team to be able to be ready when they're called.
Spear turning around, lead down to 9, looking for Thistle. Thought about it, driving in, and foul going to be called as Mataya Tellis, I believe, just kind of grabbed at the end. Mataya Tellis, excuse me.
Yeah, she knew she was beat there and kind of just stuck a knee out there, took the foul.
Not the worst idea.
No, yeah. Especially you got only 2 fouls, only 38 seconds left in the quarter.
Quick pass into Morrissey, no good. 5-second differential between the shot clock and the Gamecock. Millikin driving in, layup with the right hand, fouled. Not going to get the and one, but going to the line for 2 is going to be Bella Dudley.
I just saw Coach Jones point kind of towards, get back on defense, get back. Millikin took no time there, 5 seconds off the clock, and they already got it up, and a free throw opportunity here.
Dudley 5 for 6 on the season from the free throw line. Make that 6 for 7. She's only played in 8 games, so this is her 9th contest.
Yeah,
with second.
With Millikin, looking like going to the bench a lot tonight. See what other players Coach Lett can get involved here and get production out of. Holding it for the last shot here.
Knight has the kick out, finds Thistle wide open. Can't find it off the side of the iron. Evelyn gets it. Back to Knight. Knight pump fakes with 3, with 2, with 1. The left-hand hook, no good. And that's going to be the end of the opening quarter of action as the Firebirds lead 17-9 against the visiting blue of Millikin. Will take a timeout, hand it over to the cheer and spirit squad. We'll come back second quarter action on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Welcome in now, second quarter action. Firebirds lead 17-9. For my broadcast colleague this afternoon for the doubleheader, Eric Elger, I'm Peter Ferreri. 17-9 again, your score. It was 10-7, and then a quick 7-2 run for Carthage. Really put them in the driver's seat going into quarter number 2. And something you wanted to mention was the shot chart. And right now it's really favoring Carthage, but they are spreading the ball to all corners of the half court.
Yeah, when you look at the shot chart, I mean, first of all, comparing the number of shots, Carthage took 23 shots to Millikin only took just 9. So if Millikin's not getting shots off, I think that's an obvious thing to say, is that you're not going to make many shots if you don't take many shots as Morrissey steps out of bounds. And with Carthage, it seems that Coach Jones has seen something where they want to post up in the corner, get those corner threes, and there's been a lot of open looks that have been taken here. I think Carthage is going to look to keep exploiting that opportunity. And Morrissey just lost where she looks like she was on the court there.
Yeah. Shot up and good. 4 points now for number 23, Bella Dudley. Nice poke away. The kind of trap came in. Foot wasn't on the line. Knight thought about the three-pointer. Kicks back out to Morrissey. Thistle wide open. Finds all three of them. 20-11.
Everyone getting involved with the three-point game here. And you could see that Millikin's plan on Morrissey is that they had Tella step up. And is that going to be another turnover for Millikin?
Sure.
Yeah, and you could see Morrissey like kind of ran into a wall. Fortunately for Carthage, the ball kind of bounced around and it found Thistle, and she was able to knock it down. And so going back to what we said is that if you can keep forcing turnovers and getting the ball back without having Millikin get up any shots, this is going to be a tough task for Millikin to come back if they can't keep better care of the ball.
And Bailey Kaufman not able to bring that one in out of Hayworth.
And
Knight! Bang!
And there's another drive and kick, and she wasn't quite in the corner, but finding open looks all night so far. And Carthage is now 4 of 10 from the three-point line.
Officials today, Jody Duffy, Abby Burmeister, and Jeff Yoder doing a fine job as an officiating crew here. 23-11, biggest lead of the afternoon now for the Firebirds. Don't want to jinx it. Oh, nice up and under and still a miss. And possessions go Firebirds. I want to mention it because I feel we have to at this point. Knutson has 0 points. Your best player, offensively and defensively, has been held scoreless. I think that's a feat to behold because usually it's not a matter of Thistle was just a very misguided pass. Here comes Knutson herself behind the back. Poke from behind by Thistle.
Well, and like in a situation like that, you wonder what Knutson's thinking. She's the only offensive player on that side of the court for Millikin. It was almost like she tried to go 1-on-5, and Carthage able to recover and knock the ball out.
Knutson now.
You wonder as a scorer like her if you start to feel like I got to force something out. There you go.
There it is.
I know. You just kind of as a, the gunner that she is that I think that you start to feel a little uncomfortable if you don't have a bucket yet if you're her.
Morrissey answers back with a trifecta. Morrissey makes the lead 26-13.
Yeah, that was something I looked at Morrissey's stats over the last few years. I mean, she has made more threes than she's even took the last 2 years combined, and so add in that part of the game, and another turnover forced. But
yeah, I think right now, just to chime in, Eric, Carthage is forcing Millikin to make self-inflicted errors time and time again. It's not as if you could even constitute, some mental mistakes maybe, because right now Millikin, they're passing before they're looking. They're retrieving the pass, or they're moving before getting the pass. It's a lot of, almost half the turnovers right now are self-inflicted wounds.
Yeah, I would think if you're Coach Lett for Millikin, it's a pretty simple point to make. It's like, hey, we need to take care of the ball better. Otherwise, we cannot be successful on offense. And you wonder if you're Coach Jones, you just keep telling your team, hey, if we keep this pressure up, well, that's a tough charge called on Morrissey there. But
yeah, I was going to say it is, but nonetheless, it looked like, for all intents and purposes, that Kaufman was kind of just standing there, and Morrissey hoped to get the foul against the much taller 6-foot-tall Kaufman. Didn't happen.
Yeah, that's something that Millikin, Morrissey's trying to get to the basket, and they seem prepared to bring that help side and to take a charge or to cut her off. And that's at least the second time you've seen somebody ready to stop Morrissey from penetrating through the lane.
Turning around, trying to flick it up. Darden with another offensive board. Nice play by Darden. Got the board, kind of took a step to the sideline, spun around, up and good. Like we said, it might have to be the Darden show today because they have absolutely stifled Knutson. 1 for 2 from the field, but in 12 minutes played.
Yeah, it's almost like if you're Millikin, Darden would be saying like, hey, just put it up on the rim. I'll go grab it and get us a bucket. Just let's get some shots up here and let me go to work. And that's been kind of the easier shots that they've had so far is just those offensive putbacks.
Well, the thing with Darden as well, it's not as if she's necessarily taller, as Morrissey looks for three, no good. Then, the defenders, she just, very Charles Barkley style, able to get perfect positioning. So that way there's only one person that's going to get that rebound, and it's her. But also, she has great elevation, and we see it there again. Welcome to the Darden show. She's just starting to heat up. 8 points.
Yeah, I think Darden saw that Aram was on her, and that's a definitely matchup that she looked to exploit and just took it right to the rack. And that seems to be the offensive success story so far is going through Darden. And wow, that was another basket you think that Emily White would like to have back.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but then Morrissey misses a coast-to-coast layup. So what we've seen so far, mind you, the sample size is one game, isn't going to be, as she checks out of the contest, isn't going to be your offensive score. That's not her role. Her role is to give to the scorers. So, try not to say she's not going to get a few buckets here and there, but, that last shot that she took, you're trying to drive baseline against, three defenders, not quite the shot she would be looking to take.
Yeah, I think if you know your teammates like Morrissey, Knight, Spear, they're great shooters. So if you're Aram is right back down to Darden, and you wonder what Coach Jones here is going to do to try to maybe provide a little help down low.
Nice little run.
Thistle, left
Millikin,
hand.
Yeah, but Thistle coming back up as we have a quick hair adjustment by Bella Dudley. Did you ever have long hair?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. Probably too long.
Okay.
Probably
too long ago, or you had it for too long, or it was too long?
Well, really, the long hair was more of a not scheduling a haircut for a long time and just letting it ride. Darden again.
Oh, my goodness. You stated that a change might have to happen. Darden is absolutely taking over quarter number 2. It was a 13-point lead, now down to 7. Darden up to 12 points. A timeout on the court. Besides talking about our times of life where we had long hair, because I lived that life as well for a little bit, talk to me through what's going to have to be you see Coach Jones now having a discussion with her associate coaches about what's going to have to happen, because we see on the replay there, Thistle, you're going to not make every single shot from the outside as we're seeing on the replay package. There's going to be times where you need your teammates to step up. Darden is absolutely doing that.
Yeah, and if you're Coach Jones, I think you got to wonder if they're going to send more help. But really, I mean, the fact is, if Darden is in the restricted area and gets the rebound, there's not a whole lot you can do when she's that close. If there's some height, maybe see if Cord was out for a minute. Maybe we see her a little bit, a little more height to try to force Darden to be a little uncomfortable. But, yeah, I mean, Millikin's just running through down the paint. And that's kind of a different style than I think they're used to playing, but it's got them back in the game.
Well, you got somebody like Knable on your side of things, if you're Carthage, that's doing a great job on the boards offensively for you, but it hasn't necessarily been what you wanted on the defensive side of the boards, where when you have Ebeling and Cord, they're going to do it defensively, but not so much offensively. So you're trying to find where things can necessarily settle. So let's see what happens with Darden now. At the line, Darden, the third leading scorer for Millikin this year. She's at 12.8 on the season, so at this point can already be above her season average 15 minutes into the game. Rolls around, no good. As you saw, I might have heard in the background, the pep band sounded like they were from the Seagulls.
Finding Nemo, right?
Thank you. I was like, the Dory movie. What's it called? Finding Nemo. Thank you. Kick out to the right side. 4-3.
Another one of those open threes for the Firebirds, and Wamser knocks it down this time. it seems like Wamser has got a little more comfortable in the offense and kind of looking for her shot a little bit more as the season has progressed.
Switching off, trying to go right to left hand. Knebel called for the foul. Going to the line for 2 is going to be number 12, Divian Munhundru.
And I'm going to say this is one of those players that Coach Lett is throwing out there after being a little frustrated with what she's seen so far. Because when you look at how many minutes she's been on the court, it's only been
5.5.
5.5
total.
So that might be sending a message to the starters like, hey, look, I need to find some energy. I need to find some, taking care of the ball. And so taking an opportunity herself here. And
I agree with you. You could see turnovers happening. Okay, fine, let's get the jitters out, in a tough place in Carthage. But when you're a quarter and a half in and those are still happening, travel called on Lauren Knight. But when you're a quarter and a half in and those are still happening, okay, what can we do now? You're going to put in a player who's only played in one game. This is her second game of action the entire season.
She doesn't have her last name on the back of her jersey. It's like I don't know how much they expected her to get in here, but yeah, I think I think we're onto something. Like sending a message to the rest of the team, like, listen, we're not, I'm not taking this loose handling of the ball for this game. We'll find somebody that'll take care of it and see if that's a wake-up call that Millikin needed.
Darden with another nice move, drawing the foul with that opportunity again to go above the season average of 12.
Yeah, Knebel bit on the pump fake there, and by just kind of not jumping, but just getting up on her toes a little bit, that was enough for Darden to blow by and get to the hoop.
You know what I think it bears mentioning as we discuss the second free throw up, no good as well. If you're Coach Jones, maybe you're saying to yourself, though, I'm okay with Darden beating us as long as Knutson doesn't. So maybe they're, consciously saying, take everybody else out. If we're going to get beat, let it be down low, let it be these type of shots. Because that's one of your strengths on the bench is you have 3 solid bigs that you can rotate through. Oh, Darden comes away with the steal. The layup, no good. Offensive board, but Morrissey takes it away.
Morrissey doing a nice job of just going vertical there and enough to force the miss, but Darden taking it right back. That is back-to-back steals for Darden. Wow. So not only the offensive fulcrum, but making an impact on the defensive end there as well. Yeah, I hear what you mean is that maybe that is why there's more looks for Darden. Is like, hey, we're just going to make sure that we're not getting open looks on the three-point line. We're going to stay Knutson, going to stay active with her, and just if that becomes where they get their points, we'll live with it.
Behind the back, losing the handle was Knutson. Morrissey thought about it, slowed it down, went off to Knight. Knight had a 3, decided not to take it. Will Morrissey take the open 3? No good off the back iron. Forward, and they're going to say Knight was the last touch.
That was a good extra pass there by Knight. Morrissey had a good look. Fortunately, didn't go in, but Knight really did a good job creating that and kicking it out. And again, Carthage able to knock the ball out of Knutson's hands, and it's interesting to see how many turnovers they'll be able to force as Thistle's just got to wrap up Bailey Kaufman there. Kaufman, one of the better shooters for Millikin. 78% from the line, knocks down the first. Yeah, and there's not been many looks outside at all for Millikin. I'm looking now, just 4 3-point attempts to 15 by the Firebirds. So 2 very different styles of offenses on display here. Morrissey almost always gets those. Man, that was a shot like freshman year. She missed those a lot more, but it seems like this season she's been able to find the soft touch off the glass.
Ebeling now stepping back into the action. No good off the front iron. And foul going to be called immediately against Dudley as Ebeling forced Dudley kind of off balance. That's what hadn't been there. We talked about it. That's a defensive adjustment Coach Jones was looking to make. Coach Lett was saying to herself, all right, we're going to just keep feeding Darden and see what happens. That brought them back into this game. Right now, Carthage with a 6-point lead with 2 minutes until half. Thistle drives down low. Ebeling blocked from behind by Knudsen. And that's going to be
the fifth foul here. Probably not the foul you're looking for there to put an elite shooter, 85% from the free throw line. Coach Jones talking to Ebeling right now. Is that, yeah, I mean, if she's having a frustrating night, one way if you're a scorer is to get kind of your shot going again, is get to the free throw line. And so seeing a couple free throws go down, you hope that it doesn't ignite Knudsen to pick up her scoring output like we know she can.
That one up and good as well. We'll get more on Mahundra as time comes along, should she find herself back into the game. She did receive offers from Illinois Central, Lincoln, Parkland, Morton, so a lot happening in her high school career before deciding on Millikin, the freshman out of Springfield, Illinois. As
Morrissey's just going to attack. She's just attacking. Seems like she's got that shot a lot tonight, but not been able to hit it. But fortunately here, able to get to the free throw line. Hopefully knock down a couple.
Shot up, and Morrissey good.
A minute and a half here. You'd like to see Carthage extend the lead or at least keep it, and because if Millikin's able to cut this lead deficit, tie it up after as sloppy as the first half they've had, you'd think they would absolutely take it, but that was the sloppiness we were just talking about there. So yeah, if you're Carthage, extend this lead, keep them down, because you've really gotten a half that you wouldn't expect Millikin to repeat in terms of turnovers.
A wide open point, Blake Knable.
Great drive by Thistle there to kick it down to Knable and get an easy basket.
Can Knable get there in time? She cannot. 3-point ball. Emily White. 4-point advantage only for Carthage. The lead was as big as 14. This Millikin team has been a ranked team, so you know that this is a very tough squad, and they were not going to go quietly into this snow-filled Saturday afternoon in Kenosha.
Yeah, a little miscommunication there. Thistle looked like she was going to cut, and Knight expected her to kind of be an outlet pass, and
that's the type of mistakes we saw Millikin do most of this first half. So Carthage very, closer to error-free for all intents and purposes. Open for three, finds them all. Trifecta for Dudley. It is a 1-point game.
A little inside-outside game. Looked like Coffin was going to take that shot, but found the open three-pointer instead. And
trying to answer back. Morrissey, up and good. No
looking
foul
for a
call.
foul. Looking for a foul there.
With two, with one, not able to get the shot off. Coach Lett not happy that nobody took a shot at the end of the half, but 36-33. Eric, thoughts before we head into timeout?
Yeah, I think if you're Carthage, you can't expect Millikin to be as sloppy with the ball as they were in the first half. So you have to look at how can we make some adjustments. It seemed like they slowed down a little bit offensively in the second quarter. What can they do to get a few more of those open looks that we'd seen? And if you're Millikin, again, I think the adjustment is simply, hey, if we take care of the ball, it seems like they're making down some three-point shots, and as we've seen, Darden down low has been successful. So we'll see where it goes in the second half.
So we'll go into halftime, 36-33. We'll take a halftime little break, and then when we come back, the halftime report, scores, stats, highlights, out-of-town scoreboard, and more, as you can only find it on the Firebird Broadcasting Network.
Spirit Team. And now back to the best pep band in the land with our student conductors, Jack Kelly and Jack Massari.
36-33, welcome into the Halftime Report is brought to you by the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Alongside my broadcast colleague Eric Elger, I'm Peter Ferreri. Eric, the first half, the second quarter ended on a 12-5 run for Millikin, and as Coach Jones said, this Millikin squad, they're good, they can score, and they can do it in bunches.
Yeah, I think the biggest sign of the first half was a combined 25 turnovers between the two teams. If you're Millikin, again, your two leading scorers now not really getting off the scoring too much here, and you look at Bailey Kaufman, their second leading scorer, 0 for 7 from the field. So if you're Millikin, you hope to take care of the ball a little bit better. Maybe some of your second leading scorer, Bailey Kaufman, you expect not to go 0 for the night. So if you're Millikin, that's where you're looking to make your adjustments, I think.
Looking on the flip side for Carthage, you've weathered the storm now. You've seen what everything it has in store for you in terms of this big blue squad. You have held none other than Knutson. I mean, there's no other way to put it. She's played, let's get this correct number, 18:44. So she's played all but a minute and 26 seconds and is only 1 for 3 from the field. You're still up by 3. They being Millikin, has had to really diversify things. It's been the Darden show, already above her season average, and she hit that mark halfway through the second.
Yeah, Darden picking up 8 rebounds of the team's 18. And for Carthage, I think what they're going to need to do to stay ahead in this game is continue to get those open looks that we've seen in the wings, getting good three-point shots. And there's actually 5 different players who have knocked down a 3 for Carthage. So spreading out and hopefully continue to drive, kick, and I think that's where Carthage is going to look to stay ahead and is keep hopefully making down those threes.
Yeah, another thing to look at on the offensive side, all Morrissey all day again. Knight leading the way, second leading scorer, I should say, at 6 points of her own. But Thistle really stepping up along with Spear, 5 points apiece for each of those players. You know, somebody else is going to have to step up. And Spear on the season, just under 5 points, so she's already gone above that. But also that rotation, Grace Cord having not seen a lot of playing time so far. So Knable really being a huge part of the offensive and defensive prowess they've had under the basket. Another switch for this Coach Jones team.
Yeah, I think Thistle's done a great job as she's really found some open looks for her teammates. She had a pass to Knable earlier in the game that opened up a easy bucket for them. And yeah, you wonder where, Morrissey continues to be the standout, and I think continuing to spread out the open looks, keep people involved, and if you can keep Knutson and Kaufman down, I think that's going to be the keys to success here for Carthage.
Don't forget, stick around. The second game of the doubleheader will be immediately following, slated for a 4:15 start here on the Firebird Broadcasting Network between these two squads on the men's side of things, and then the post-game show in between the two. So after this game, before the men's game, the post-game show with Beck and Jones, she'll be joining us to discuss this game and more. And also a little special treat for everybody. If you're a Firebird fan or a football fan, head coach Matt Pepino just announced yesterday he'll be joining us during the second game, the men's game, to do his formal introduction to the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Make sure to not go anywhere. Keep us dialed in for the remainder of the afternoon right here on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Welcome into second half action on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Alongside Eric Elger, I'm Peter Ferreri. And just like that, Millikin is getting the possession 3 seconds into the third quarter.
Yeah, probably not what you draw up at halftime on how you want to start that opening set. Hopefully, it's just a blip in the second half. We'll see what adjustments Millikin's going to make if they continue to pound it down low. There's Knutson taking it to the rack.
Getting a foul. That was probably, if I were a guessing or a betting man, Olivia Lett, the conversation with her was, get Knutson more involved now. Even if you have to force the factor a little bit or force the issue, as you see that one up and good.
And I think a little more aggressive out of, if you're Elise Knutson. You know, it seemed like the one shot she was able to hit was kind of a settled for a jumper. And I don't think she really pushed it to the basket. And right off the first possession for Millikin, she was aggressive and was able to get that foul. And I think that's something, again, as a scorer, you know, how can I get myself involved? And one way is driving into the hoop.
Well, Carthage right now shooting the ball so well. It's 53% in the second quarter alone for Carthage. But overall, Millikin on the game at 42. So a lot of that 42%, though, came in that final run of the second quarter to really bring Millikin back. I mean, if Millikin was down, the biggest deficit they had was 13. If they were down 13 going into half, I think it's a much different feel than what we see here as Margaret Spear able to run that one down.
Yeah, it was a 12-5 run to end the first half, and they were sitting at 1-3 made, and they got two of those, or two more threes down the stretch. And yeah, that did cut that lead, and I think Millikin is coming out of this second half is trying to be a little more aggressive.
Knutson trying to clear the way.
It's interesting they got her set into corner.
Yeah.
You know, you don't see many sets where it's like it was like that whole play was set on her being in the corner.
Knight trying to get it to Morrissey. Morrissey just flicks it back in. Again, that was the Millikin errors in the first. Now it's showing itself to Carthage. 3-ball up, no good. Mismatch. Darden lead for the Big Blue. First time since the opening points of the contest.
Yeah, Thistle was somehow involved with trying to box out Darden there, and that is a tough matchup for her to be able to come up with that rebound, and Darden just out-muscled.
So substitutions galore coming in. Again, a situation, if you're Carthage right now, you add on those points that ended the first half, and it's almost a 20-point swing. Morrissey looks for the shot, no good. Tipped by Ebling trying to get the rebound. And Millikin has an opportunity to make it a 2-possession game.
Yeah, Carthage coming up empty here to start the third quarter. And both of them, it seems like Morrissey trying to get it involved down low. Haven't seen any shots outside, so maybe both teams trying to make an adjustment about let's get it, let's be aggressive, take it to the rim.
Mishandle, Morrissey swipes it down, hits the kneecap.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of balls have been swiped away today as Thistle taken to the rack.
Fouled hard by Darden. She's kind of like, yeah, I guess it was me.
Yeah, it was like Thistle all of a sudden made that crossover and found a ton of daylight. There was no one between her and the basket and was able to get the foul on Darden, which if you're Carthage, any foul you can tack on to her is going to be helpful overall if you can get her off the court.
Thistle misses the first free throw. 9 for 13 on the year. 10 for 15 now. Another player that hasn't seen the court yet by our accounts is Jesse Pekaski, one of the other big forwards for Carthage. So that a travel going to be called. I was wondering if they were if that whistle was for a foul or
That almost could have been,
travel.
yeah, you've seen that where they call it on just kind of that slight bump, what leads to the travel sometimes. But yeah, that was just a straight travel there. And yeah, Darden now 3 fouls. So if you can try to get her to pick up her 4th, that's going to be a huge weight off the shoulders of Carthage.
Morrissey looks for the short 2, can't find it. Nice defensive board by Kaufman.
Yeah, Morrissey seeming to take most of the shots here, trying to go through her.
Off balance, Darden with a huge board over Ebeling, and the foul. The 5'9" Darden playing so physical under the basket, 17 points.
Yeah, it's kind of a joke, but like honestly, Millikin, just throw it up off the glass. I'll go get it.
Yeah.
And that has been a really successful motive for them so far. And man, Ebeling was seemed like in the right rebound position, but Darden just able to kind of pick it up off the top of her head.
Last year for the Big Blue, Darden started all 29 games, averaged 7.5 a game last year. As we talked about, this year averaging 12. Spear fouled on the 3-point attempt. Carthage could take the lead with all 3.
Another good job there by Thistle, kind of creating that, an extra pass to get the look for Spear. And one of the worst things you can do as a defender is get that cheap foul on a 3-pointer where you weren't going to really block the shot, and now you've got Spear going to the line for 3 freebies. And that's something in the second half I noticed is the free throw differential is that Millikin was able to get to the line much more frequently. Carthage only had 2 attempts in the first half to Millikin's 13, so.
Spear makes the first 2. Career high, or season high, I should say, for Darden, 22. So something to keep in mind. As she is already, again, as mentioned, at 17, she is getting a breather.
Yeah, I think your coach let. You don't want to get that 4th foul here too early.
It should stay with Carthage, and it does.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see where they go here. You'd expect them to go through Elise, but she missed the shot there.
Morrissey now trying to go all the way. Kicks back out. Knight wide open for 3. The flick of a wrist, can't find it. Good job defensively by Tellis to kind of just box out.
Good look there.
Yeah.
Knight just trailing the drive by Morrissey. And those are the opportunities that if you're Carthage, you're going to need to take advantage of, because that seems to be the recipe that they're kind of trying to follow here, is get those open looks, see if they can make enough threes to counter what Millikin's going to put out there.
Anna Blank checks in, an SIU Edwardsville transfer. The 5'11 sophomore. Strong pass inward, turning around. No good off the front iron, still in the air. Thistle.
Kaufman still not able to get on the board here. And you can see there were 4 out there with Kaufman down low, and Kaufman got the entry pass she needed, but was not able to capitalize, and turnover there. Carthage, those are starting to add up again.
Yeah, they are. Knable mishandled that pass. Again, one thing with Coach Jones, she knows the strengths of all of her players, and Knable so strong on the boards, but when her hands are up high and you give her a very low pass, hard to contest against or hard to retrieve, I should say, as getting some points and starting to rack things up now is Knudsen. She's now quietly up to 8.
Seems like Knudsen, a lot of her opportunities have been on that left baseline there. She's been getting some looks, and seems very deliberate to send her on that where she's been, because that's kind of where the offense is running through. It's kind of a different look for an offense to be running through the left corner.
Morrissey tries to go up. She does get fouled on the way up. I believe that time is going to be on Kaufman. Actually, they're going to call it on Emily White, number 10. A lot of height for this Millikin squad. Kaufman at 6 foot, Terry at 6 foot, White, aforementioned player, at 6 foot. Blanket 5'11". But again, Sophie Darden, 5'9", but plays like a 6-footer.
Yeah, like you can see it's almost like Carthage just kind of bounces off her, and she's just able to carve that open space. Morrissey knocks it down.
17 points for Morrissey. What else is new? Is already matched her season average. Spear almost able to keep that one in play.
Yeah, you can see Coach Lett kind of gave a look there, is that was, as she does get pulled, Kaufman pulled, that was a lazy pass that really had no business being made, and a quick hook there. It's kind of like what Bo Ryan used to do with the Badgers. Like, it was not a long leash. If you made a turnover, someone was coming on the bench to come in for you.
White tries to go for Darden.
And look who's back in the game, already getting it to her.
Shot no good, hits the line, and timeout's going to be taken on the court. We'll stay here. Carthage weathered the little bit of the storm coming out of halftime, found themselves trailing for the first time since the onset of the game, back up by 1. What have you seen so far by Carthage? We talked about weathering that storm. What have you seen for them and be able to kind of take that quick heat in that third quarter, but find their footing once again? Yeah,
it looks like they're going to put the brunt of the offense on Morrissey's shoulders as she looks to stay aggressive here in the third quarter. But again, it's kind of been a strange game where there hasn't been really much of a flow. There's a lot of balls getting knocked out of bounds, swiped away, and
it's T-shirt toss time, Eric. I want a T-shirt. It was actually mentioned on Carthage's social media a few games ago. It says even the announcers want a free T-shirt.
I mean, I think.
What do you think?
I've seen enough of these T-shirt tosses in my day that I don't know if there's many things in this world that excite the masses more than a giveaway T-shirt.
No, not at all. Now the problem is we are up here in the perch, the nest, whatever you want to call it, the bird area. In the rafters of Tarble Arena, so not sure if we have it'd have to be a line drive. You cannot lollipop it.
Maybe a slingshot situation.
Okay.
One of those cannons,
I was going to say, we were talking about marketing and promotion ideas. The Carthage cannon to just fire shirts anywhere in the arena. Nothing wrong with the slingshot, like you said. You have enough of the cheer squad and the spirit team to, launch and go.
I just worried that the T-shirt cannon might be a little overpowered for the fans in the fourth row.
Line drive to the cranium.
Well, that'd be better than you've seen some of those teams launching brats. I think they do that for the Timber Rattlers, their baseball team, launching brat. They have the Bratzuka.
Oh,
so
that'd be beautiful.
That's another idea too. Yeah.
I mean, we are in, the greater Kenosha area, so I mean, maybe some cheese. How about a cheese
curd?
can?
How about cheese curd? There we go.
That's more like a shotgun.
Well, there is a promotion for the arena fans is that if the other team misses 2 consecutive free throws, it's free cheese curd. So what better way to deliver cheese curds than through a cannon? As Aram able to get the line knocked down. And what is surprising is Carthage has not made a shot this quarter, but they still are able to keep their lead, which, again, kind of playing with fire with that.
Yeah.
As Aram taking the charge, and we talked about how Coach Jones, when you're looking for a transfer in the middle of the year, I mean, if you can get to the line, make a few free throws, take a charge, keep control of the ball, that's the perfect weapon off the bench. And you can see that she is a tough player and sticking in there and getting the ball back for Carthage.
So in checked and getting that foul was Mahundru. We talked about her second appearance for all intents and purposes on the season. Travel going to be called. And number 15, Grace Wamser.
Yeah, I think she's looking to make an opportunity last here, and when she's getting the ball, she looked to score. And I mean, if you don't have many minutes and your teammates are kind of turn the ball over, you see an opportunity in the game is that you want to make your mark here if you are Mahindra.
Nice pass underneath. Can't leave her with that wide open. Able to take advantage is Knutson.
Again, running the offense through that baseline. And Knutson at a post up there. Almost stole the ball away from Knight.
Take it away with a tie ball game. Darden pulls up with the left hand, misses the layup. Fights for it, bounces it back in. A Dennis Rodman style play by Darden. The left-handed three, kept the hand up there, is Brenison. And just like that, a 3-point lead for Millikin, the biggest of the afternoon.
I mean, those 3 points are going to go on Darden's line, but she stole the ball, got her rebound, and there we go. A response from Wamser. But Darden diving out of the bounds, keeping the ball alive, and you know that was a 3-point play that she was able to create it with the hustle. And like I said, Wamser, I've seen as the season progressed, see a little more offensive motivation, a little more going to get her buckets here, and hopefully capitalizing on the 3-point play.
No good off the back iron. 1-point lead for Millikin. 3:10 in the third remain. The run for Millikin to end the second quarter. It's been an even heavyweight battle ever since. Darden tries to drive, kicks out. The lefty wants a second three in a row and finds it. Bryson out of Sacred Heart Griffin High School. Absolutely feeling it from long range. Travel going to be called on Knable.
And who was there? Sophie Darden right there, causing a travel. And if you have Darden on your CCIW fantasy team, I think you're pretty happy. She's stuffing the stat line, as that was her kick out on the last Millikin offensive possession to give them that three.
So timeout on the court. Millikin leading by 4 against Carthage as we sit here with under 3 remaining in the third quarter as we look through some of these highlights. But again, it's just been the boards, as we see here, just the hustle play, the strength, the prowess. And right now, whether it's Ebeling, whether it's Knable, whether it's Cord, Darden's having her way with each and every one of the players. But the back-to-back threes by Brenison, my goodness, that's an unexpected player that you see stepping up for this team, for the Big Blue. Again, Brenison on the season averaging 4 points a game, and she's already up to 9.
Yeah, as you've seen with Millikin, it's like that offense that they've been running is a little more with Sophie Darden now. It's like they have to drop down to kind of put some bodies on her, and that's where she was able to find those kick out. And if you're, wide open in Division III basketball, you probably are gonna, knock it down. There's anyone out here on the floor is a good shooter, so getting those wide open looks have been what has pushed Millikin ahead here in the third quarter.
For comparisons, it's like a Malia Green. Like when she checks in for the Firebirds, it's like, okay, you got to watch out because she's got that lethal assassin shooting prowess. But right now, Millikin, a 12, again, it bears mentioning, a 12-5 run to end the second quarter, and have really picked up where they left off. Driving in, nothing there. Knable now stepping up on Darden.
Matchup here. Offensive foul. That's a big foul there.
Yes, it is. And here comes the sub.
That is a huge fourth foul. And one that you don't think she really needed to make. Just kind of stuck that arm out and made a little extension of the arm. And if you're a ref, that's an easy call to make. Anytime you see that arm extended, trying to create that space with your offhand, and we'll see the bench here with 4 fouls.
This is the advantage that Carthage was potentially looking for. Thistle drives a few steps, can't find it, and Morrissey is called for an over the back.
Yeah, Morrissey just coming off.
And she is now at her 4th foul. How about that? So the best scorer for each team tonight
I was just going to say, she had just come off the bench with 3 fouls, and that was a tough one to pick up. Trying to, I don't think if you're Coach Jones, it's not really a bad foul, just trying to pick up the offensive rebound. Unfortunately, that's 4 fouls now, so where's the offense going to come from? Millikin probably knows where their offense is coming from.
Yep. None other than Knutson.
Here's where you're probably looking for the leadership of Lauren Knight. What can she do with Morrissey on the bench?
Blocked by Knutson. And this is where, you show, if you're Millikin, you're a ranked team for a reason. You weathered that early storm, didn't let things get out of hand, kept your composure, kept taking the shots. Knable from long range hits the front iron, no good. Follows up, gets her own rebound, passes it out to Knight. Calling for it back underneath. Knight spins, drives, left hand to right hand, no good.
Yeah, I think Knight knows that the scoring, output has got to come from her here. You can tell that she's trying to be aggressive. And this is a dangerous spot for Carthage. Down 6, leading scorer on the bench.
Knight looks for Thistle, keeps it herself. Resets the offense now. Can Spear find 3? Indeed!
There it is, Knight kicking it out to Spear. Just what you need there, and the travel.
Bella Dudley called, trying to go a bit too fast toward that baseline break.
Yeah, fortunately for Carthage, the travel's called because that lane was open. As Carthage, with 30 seconds left in the game here, can they find another open shot to cut it down? Active hands there, Knutson. That's something as I just noticed with Knutson here is that, not necessarily her best offensive game, but she's had the block, she's making steals, and not just an offensive player, but a complete two-way player for the Big Blue.
Spear, can she find another 3? That's going to airball. We kind of had it from our vantage point. That wasn't going to go in.
That looked like, she was looking for a foul there or some kind of bump because that didn't look right from the get-go.
Wide open for 3. Off the side of the rim. Knable with 2, with 1. Not able to get it all the way. Millikin comes in to the third. Not only comes back, but takes the lead. It's going to be as thrilling of a fourth quarter as you're going to find. 18-12 is how the third panned out. Don't go anywhere. Fourth quarter action coming your way on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. It's fourth quarter action time on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Alongside my broadcast colleague, Eric Elger, I'm Peter Ferreri. Live from Tarble Arena at the beautiful campus of Carthage off the lakefront of Lake Michigan. 51-48, go ahead.
Carthage able just to survive that quarter.
Yeah,
only
that's a good way
made
to
2
put it.
shots in that quarter, but fortunately for them, they're able to knock down 7 of the 10 free throws, and really that's what kept them close in this game. But yeah, you're going to hope to see a few more buckets go down for the Firebirds.
No, that's a great way to put it, survival.
And how long can they survive with Morrissey on the bench?
Thistle able to get the rebound there. And see, that's the big difference is The top score is out for Carthage. The top score of today is out and is about to check back in with that fourth foul. Knabel underneath, layup with the right hand and good. Carthage within 1.
Great look from Thistle, and she has really found some nice open looks for her teammates. And if you're playing with Emma Thistle, you got to be excited to have her as a teammate because she's able to drive and find you and get you those easy looks. And from a point guard, that's really the whole goal. So can you make your teammates get in successful positions? And she has found them so far.
Thought about the 3 ball, decided to pull up. Darden now in the game. 4 fouls, so has to be a bit careful. Driving in, fouled on the way up. Pure strength by Darden against Thistle. She saw she had the advantage and took it.
Yeah, just hammer it down low, and somehow Thistle, I think she is wondering, why do I feel like I'm just going to see Darden coming down in her sleep tonight, because she has been in the unfortunate position of trying to stop her, and really Darden is someone that is hard to stop.
Darden makes the free throw. 2 points away from the season/career high.
And that's something with Millikin with the 4-point advantage. Coach Lett able to be a little more risky with, there's an open 3.
Rock and roll for Lauren Knight. Carthage back to within 1.
So with that advantage, you're able to put your player with 4 fouls out, but how long is Coach Jones able to go?
Blocked by Spear and Wamser. As unique of a lineup as you are going to see this season. Wamser pump fakes, drives in, right hand, just misses the layup. Fighting for it, Spear, she gets fouled on the way up. Going to the line for 2 is going to be Margaret Spear.
There we go, sticking her nose in there to try to get the ball and able to pick up the foul. Wamser, a nice drive. She's kind of seemed as she's got that pump fake and go to the left. Not able to get the layup, but Spear jumping in there, getting the offensive rebound.
I think one thing you could talk about with this new scheme of Coach Jones is truly every player is so prepared because you do not know when your number is going to be called. And it's not to say anything about years past or how other teams operate, but you look at a team like Millikin, they started the rotation early and often in today's game. Carthage just using a different lineup completely. Knabel, past few games, limited minutes, and guess what? Today she's getting a lot of them. 5 games ago, whether it's an Elmhurst game, maybe Pekaski's getting the bulk of the load. Pekaski hasn't seen the court here today. Things are tied up at 54 apiece, so it just shows that at any point in time, based on the matchup, Coach Jones is saying, all right, matchup is favoring this individual player. Thistle getting a lot of playing time today. And the start, another travel called on Millikin. My goodness.
There has been a lot of those taken off without putting the ball down, and Carthage with Morrissey on the bench, the tie game, seems like the momentum might be switching a little towards the Firebirds here, and with a successful offensive trip here, I think Carthage might be.
Thistle looks for Knabel. She's not used to that 3-point line. 10 seconds on the clock. Driving,
great drive.
Ebeling just can't find the layup. It is a 9-3 run for the Firebirds. But answering right back is Millikin.
And
Haley Kaufman.
That's, again, Millikin's able to spread that ball around, and Kaufman with her 4th point, but still someone you rely on to get buckets for, and it's a nice pass. And Darden again.
Now, something I want to just ask. I'm just going to ask the question, Eric. At some point, knowing that so far Darden's been in the game with 4 fouls, for the betterment of most of this fourth, do you just start trying to attack? Do you say whoever has the ball, get it to, who Darden is defending, travel going to be called on Knabel? Because it's the opposite right now with Coach Jones and Morrissey. 7 minutes left in the game, And Morrissey right now has not seen the court since she hit that fourth foul. Darden got the fourth foul, got a breather, right back out.
Yeah, Darden, you wonder, like, you see her kind of match up with Ebeling where, maybe they're kind of hiding Darden a little bit on defensively, and it seems like she's kind of playing like free safety where she's just, maybe dropping off Ebeling and able to, steal the ball and blocking some shots.
And here comes Morrissey to the scorer's table. Ebeling passing in, thrown up in the air. Pekoski, can Ebeling find the three? Rolls around, no good, stepping on the line. Oh! Thought Matea Tellis caught the ball or touched it. Call went the other way, close call.
Yeah, that's Thistle's third now. It's kind of a loose ball there. It's not a foul you're happy to pick up if you're Emma for sure, but 4-point deficit here. You're really going to have to dig in. Keep them off the offensive glass.
Darden was doubled, looks for the bounce pass. Can't find the board. Morrissey comes away with it. Morrissey to Knight. Knight drives. Turns around top of the key. Has the lane. And you saw Darden could not make a move on that because she would have gotten called with the foul. Just had to sit and watch.
Yeah, and Spear driving with the right and then flipping over to the left. That was pretty.
Spinning around Knutson. Oh, what a beautiful shimmy shake at the free throw line. Lead back to 4 for the blue.
Your Spear, you just tip your cap on that one. That's a tough shot that an elite scorer is making, and all you can do is try to make it uncomfortable. But yeah, that's someone that, she's going to get some of those shots to go down.
Looking through some of the stats now, Eric. 9 for 21 from 3 is Carthage. 5 for 13. Carthage a 2-rebound advantage. I mean, it's as evenly matched of a contest as you're going to get right now. But if you look at that field goal, Millikin up to 22 field goals, They were only at 2 for the longest time.
Yeah, this is coming down to the wire here, and I think what is Carthage going to get out of their two offensive, their big offensive guns, and I think keeping Darden off the offensive glass, and it seems like it's Knutson showtime here. What can you do to keep such an elite scorer off? And as you look up at the scoreboard, she's quickly put up 16 after just having 4 at half. So she's definitely been cooking a little more in the second half.
Oh, like I said, every point's been quiet because it has been in bunches. All her scoring has been, all right, here's a 2, here's a 3, and then somebody else chips in a few, where Darden has made her presence known throughout the entirety of this afternoon's matchup. So looking now, Millikin 4-point lead. It was tied at 54. A nice little 6-2 run for Millikin. Morrissey back out on the court, 4 fouls in her own right. Darden sits at 4, and Darden has played a very clean contest since getting her 4th foul.
Yeah, you saw that she backed off one of those drives to the lane, and at this point, so some moving screen called there.
So Emma Thistle now gets her 4th. And right now at that point guard position, that's where depth's a little bit of an issue. That's where you might see a Nora Ram come in. The UIC transfers. This is her only 2nd game.
It's like Millikin playing a little 2-man game there between Knutson and Darden.
Open for 3. Bounces around, no good. Knable. That could have been a dagger type of 3-pointer if that fell. Thistle to Spear, and Spear steps on the line. Misguided pass. Coach, go ahead.
2 back-to-back empty trips there for Carthage without getting much of an offensive, even look. So you're going to have to clean that up to make this comeback.
Coach Jones telling Thistle, calm down. Darden kicks out. Thought about the 3-ball, poked a bit by Knight. Nowhere to go with things. Finally able to reset the offense, 10 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah, if you're Spear, it's hard to not let her go the baseline. You know that's where she wants to go, but still able to get there. And if you can, I think, Carthage, it's trying to force, if you can, get Knutson towards the middle of the floor, because she's been able to have a lot of success driving down that baseline. And now going to the free throw line, an elite free throw shooter. This is where Millikin probably looking to squeeze the life out of Carthage if they can, with just Knutson knocking down free throws.
Again, a quiet 17 points, getting him at the free throw line. Up and good. I mean, just a beautiful stroke at the free throw line. Carthage needs a basket. It's been a quiet little spell for them. Carthage 1 for 4. There you go. That's the Thistle shot.
Yeah, Tellis was really aggressive on defense there, maybe a little over-aggressive to give up the drive by Thistle.
Darden drives in, up too strong, gets her own rebound. Oh, my goodness. Knable already started running, or I shouldn't say running, but shifting back. The pass to Knable, answers right back.
Again from Thistle. And Darden almost looked like that Wembanyama pass off the backboard move. It was not quite as deliberate, but she just kind of threw it off the backboard, got it, and put it back in.
Floats up with the right hand. My goodness, Knutson. She makes it look so effortless.
Yeah, you're going to need some stops on the defensive end there.
Shot up and good for Thistle. Now it's a shooting spree. Both
taking
teams
it to the rack.
Blow after blow. Knutson with the right hand. Oh, my goodness. What an and one. Wow.
Yeah, that's about as athletic of a play as you're going to see in this conference. Driving it to the left and switching over to the right, picking up the foul, going through contact, knocking it in. And it's almost as good as the three-pointer.
Well,
when you're shooting.
Yeah.
What is she at here?
She's at 850 from the line.
Yeah.
It's good. Millikin has found their way to a 7-point lead, trailed by as many as 13. And immediately a foul is going to be called against Mahandru.
See if they can get Thistle going downhill again. That's how they've been able to get their last few baskets, the aggressiveness of Emma Thistle. I've not called Morrissey's name in a while.
Thistle
and there it is, downhill. Oh.
Just misses the layup. A crucial miss with how efficient in the fourth Millikin has been. Under 3 remains. 7-point lead.
And Millikin probably okay with being a little patient here.
Oh!
Until they find that open look.
Mahandru with the 3-ball. Lead is at 10. Knight up and under, misses the layup. That's going to stay with the Firebirds. That 3-ball could be the dagger.
Yeah, that's a big shot. For not playing many minutes, that's going to be one you feel pretty good about it, helping your team out is extend the lead to 10 with 2.5 here.
Well, not to look back, but you look at the situation where Carthage Millikin came back. Carthage tied it up. After that happened, just bit by bit, Millikin started chipping it away. And next thing you know, that 3-ball made it 10. We talked about that. Millikin was going to get their points. Where were they going to come from? Now, you look at the season average, and this is a team that I believe your notation was 84 points a game. It's hard to slow down an offensive team. So Carthage has done a good job at that for all intents and purposes. They just haven't been able to match it blow for absolute blow.
Yeah, you look at the first quarter when Carthage was able to hold them to 9 points, and it has been much more difficult than they found with that first quarter. And we said that you don't expect Millikin to turn over as much as they did, and they haven't. And the offense has gone through Knutson in the second half with Darden chipping in, and crunch time here for the Firebirds.
Morrissey airballs it going up for the 2. Carthage needs to stop.
Wonder if there's, when do you start fouling? Obviously you don't want to foul Knutson, but is there somebody that they're going to, when do you pull that lever if you're Coach Jones?
Well, a foul right there kind of starts that process, I guess you could say. So Lauren Knight called for her first. And going to the line is going to be Bailey Kaufman. Kaufman, a 780 free throw shooter in her own right. So not the one you want to send to the line.
No, we talked about how actually was one of the best three-point shooters in the conference coming into the game and has not made many baskets, but if you can make the free throws when it counts, you really don't mind how many shots you missed earlier if you come out with a victory and knock down clutch free throws.
Darden and White are kind of the two players that get a lot of minutes that you want to see get fouled more, see able to get it
Great pass.
back to 10. I think if it's still single digits after this possession and you're able to bring it or you're able to stop them and get it to single digits, I think that's when you consider the foul game. You know, pregame we actually had a good talk with Coach Jarakovic on the men's side of things about that very situation. It looks like Knight's going to be called and sending Kaufman right back to the line. I do not believe that's the possession Coach Jones wanted.
No, right, as if you're trying to play straight up and kind of a couple of seconds tick off and then you foul and now you give them someone who is an excellent free throw shooter 2 opportunities. Yeah, tough possession there for the Firebirds. See if this will continue up to 6 assists on the night after dropping a dime there last possession.
Morrissey keeps it herself. She gets it tipped away. Again, if you're Carthage, you've had the shots. They just haven't fallen at much of a percentage as you would have liked. 37% on the evening. 43 from the three-point line. I think a big number they're going to look at, only 64 from free throw land. Knable looks for the long two, able to find it.
A little mid-range jumper there.
Game not 100% over yet.
Running out of time here.
Coach Jones, you can see letting them, you want to get for the tit for tat after this possession. Probably what they wanted to do the last time out, but that late foul called against Lauren Knight. Let's see what happens with 5.
I don't think she's passing it here.
Wow. Nothing else to say but wow. And that's how you become one of the best scorers in all the CCIW. 25 points now for Knutson. It was only a matter of time before she got hers, and that just shows the composure she has to start off so cold and still by the end of the game get up to 25.
It's unbelievable to see that 25 points next to her name after being shut down the first half, but you could tell in that possession, just waiting out the clock, she knew she was going to take it. I think if you're the rest of the Big Blue, you're like, hey, let's give it to her and get out of the way here and let our scorer finish this game out. And you're going to think Carthage is going to look to force up some threes here. I mean, can he still go for the 2-pointers when you're down 12 with 40 seconds? Obviously you want to get the best shot you can, but again, running out of time here. And with the weapon of Knutson, you feel like she's going to get the ball inbound, so fouling her, it's going to be a hill to climb.
Don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but Carthage is going to have a bit of time to think about this one. Their next game, not until next Saturday, and that's on the road in Bloomington against Illinois Wesleyan. Then they head to Waukesha to take on Carroll. So they are not back here in Tarble until the 24th against North Central, who just defeated Millikin in a thrilling game, a thrilling midweek game. So Coach Jones is going to have a lot of time before she comes back home to think about maybe what could have been here.
Definitely,
not over yet.
Definitely looking to get a shot off earlier if you're Carthage here. You can't spend too much time finding that look. Looks like they tried to set up a double screen for Knight there. Didn't quite work.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you didn't want. 28.7. It's not often we've had a post-game show after a loss, but that's what it looks like it's going to be, so make sure you stick around post-game. In between this and the men's game immediately following the final buzzer, we'll compile our stats and highlights and more, as it looks like Carthage is just going to let Millikin run this one out. Coach Jones will join us for the post-game show before we jump into the men's game.
Yeah, I just think too many turnovers, too much Knutson in the second half. And once Millikin got that lead, they didn't look back.
And that's going to be it. So that's going to be all she wrote. Millikin comes in down 13, claws their way back, takes the lead, and does not look back. Your final, 78-66. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, the post-game show on the Firebird Broadcasting Network.
Your Carthage Firebird women's basketball team returns to Tarble on Wednesday, January 24th, as the Firebirds take on North Central College at 7 p.m. So I'll start. The Carthage Firebirds men's team is set to play next, so stay with us for more CCI basketball action. For those that stay around, we thank you for coming out to support your Firebirds today. Please drive home safely, and as always, go Birds!
And welcome in now to the post-game show here at the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Alongside Coach Jones, I'm Peter Ferreri and Eric Elger. Coach, for all intents and purposes, you had them. It was a close one nonetheless. They went on a 12-5 run, battled to the end, just couldn't find the winning buckets at the end. Kind of talk us through what you saw.
Yeah, we battled. I was happy with how hard we played, and it was right there, which is why it hurts a little bit more, I think. But we had 23 turnovers, and that led to 31 of their points. That was the difference maker in the game. 24 also for them. She was a load just rebounding-wise, and we couldn't slow her down. And then their All-American obviously took over there in that last 3-minute stretch. She got them a bucket every time down, and we just couldn't recover from it. We were tired. I regret not calling a timeout after a score just to get them a little break. But overall, just the fight and the level of play that we were at, we're in a great spot. We just have to stick with it, not let this get us down, because we got really tough ones after this too. Every night's a battle in the conference, but all in all, we just got to take care of the ball.
Yeah, you mentioned your team's turnovers, but you're able to force 19 turnovers out of Millikin. What did you do defensively to kind of force that many from a good team?
Yeah, we were trying to switch things up defensively just so they could never get comfortable, because they're such an offensive team. They average 89 a game in conference play right now, so to have them at 33 at halftime, we were feeling really good. And just trying to keep them on their toes a little bit, so we were switching things up here and there. And I think our players did a really good job of being engaged with us on the bench of what we were asking for live as they were going. They were having to make those mental adjustments, and they did a really good job.
Looked like Knable took a big role today. What did you like out of her, and what have you seen so far for her this season?
Yeah, she was giving us some great defense. She has been a lot lately. I've been really happy with her just continual progress. And she got that spot because she was also able to make reads on the offensive end. She slipped a couple screens. We talked about that option too, because they play really high on your high side defensively. And so she stepped in and played a really big role off the bench for us today.
Looking ahead now, you got about 7 days before you head out of town for Illinois Wesleyan, Carroll University. What's this week going to look like for you?
Yeah, we have a bye on Wednesday. Obviously, we're playing a JV game on Wednesday night too, so we'll be prepping for that a little bit and just kind of our still normal routine. But it's nice to get a break off of a game just because of, Lauren Knight played 40 minutes, and so to be able to give a little break, and then we got 2 really tough ones, and we got another bye. So I like where our byes kind of sit to hopefully help us, especially against those really tough teams. Illinois Wesleyan and Carroll both play really, really fast. They put up a lot of points too, and so we're going to have to just get prepared for that.
Sounds good. Coach, thank you so much for your time, and best of luck on the road.
Thank you.
All right, that was Coach Jones joining us for the post-game show. Back to you, Eric. Final thoughts on the game. Again, as Coach Jones kind of said, they let that one get away from them a little bit, but when their big dog Knutson just started making everything in the final few minutes, hard to slow that down.
Yeah, that's what she mentioned. The All-American just went to work there in the second half, and a couple of empty possessions on the offensive end, and Knutson was able to take advantage of those on the offensive end for Big Blue, and that's really what turned the tide for this game, I think.
Let's preview a little bit. We have the Carthage men's team coming up in a few moments versus Millikin. Thoughts on the next game going to be joining us with?
Another good, exciting game. These are 2 high-flying offenses. Millikin, another likes to push it. They spread it around, and I think this game will be high-octane, high-scoring, an exciting one to come up next.
We'll be back in about 20 minutes for that pregame show, so go get yourself a snack, a beverage, some popcorn, some Pepsi, whatever it may be, some Haribo gummies, and then come on back with us in a few minutes. For my broadcast colleague, Eric Elger, director Natasha, Matt, Tommy, Morgan, and Mark, for John, our executive producer, as always, this program has been a presentation of Firebird Broadcast Productions and Carthage College, copyright 2023. Again, your final, Millikin 78 and the Big Blue over Carthage and the Firebirds 66. Have a good rest of your afternoon, everybody. We'll see you in about 20 minutes.